Hello and welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. I'm your host, Andrew Barnes. Delighted to be here with you today for Knowledge 2021. Let's jump right into introductions. Brad, say hello to the folks and tell them who you are.
Hey everybody, my name is Brad Tilton and I am a developer advocate with a developer program here at ServiceNow. I've been developing on the platform since about 2008, and this is my 12th Knowledge Conference, which is really exciting. And I'm excited to talk about UI Builder today.
Oh, fantastic. And I'm Andrew Barnes, also developer advocate here in the developer program that brings you things like developer.servicenow.com, and which is where we have our blog and post events. And oh, it's right there. Brad's pointing to it, developer.servicenow.com.
It's hard to point when you're looking at yourself on the camera. Sorry, keep going.
I've been on the platform for a little over 7 years. I've been with ServiceNow for 2.5 years doing this role. And I just love building custom applications and integrations on the platform. This is knowledge number 8 for me. Number 8. Nice. Knowledge 14 was my first one, which was in San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco.
Let's do that. Let's go with that.
Yeah, we're going with that. And Brad, so what we do on the show is we do live coding. So this is completely unscripted. But the first thing that we do before we even get into what we're going to be doing today is we introduce our sidekicks, because this is Live Coding Happy Hour. And what beverage did you bring to be happy with, Brad?
My sidekick today is the Dragon's Milk Barrel-Aged Stout. It's going to be a good one.
That's a good one. Oh, I love that one. And I have got let's see. There is Puhala, I think is what I'm going to call that. And this is a chocolate vanilla oak aged Imperial Porter that I'm going to be sporting today in my handy dandy ServiceNow cozy.
Ooh, that's fancy.
That is fancy. So today we are going to be doing unscripted. So we haven't practiced this. We haven't prepared this. This isn't a polished demo. And this is something that the advocacy team does every week. So every Friday, you'll find us on youtube.com/ServiceNow Dev Program for a live stream of an hour of doing unscripted ServiceNow development, where we show off new features in the platform, but we're doing it in the same way that any other developer will do. And so it's typically myself, Brad, and Chuck Tomasi, which combined, we have over 30 years of ServiceNow experience. And you will see us, because it's completely unscripted, run into problems and issues just like every other developer does. We'll be Googling things. We'll be asking questions. The chat will help us out. So it's a great time to be had. But today, Brad, we're going to be looking at working in UI Builder. So we've started a hackathon management app. And tell us a little bit about what we're going to add to that application today using UI Builder.
Yeah, so we started a hackathon management app on our live stream that we did during the hackathon. So that was fun to do. And we started a UI Builder page where people that are doing the hackathon, a place where they can go get help. So we're going to continue that page and try to kind of build it out here where I can find out more information about the hackathon. I can check the rules. I should be able to ask a question. I have some info about my team and my instance. So we have kind of a starter page that we're going to start with, and then we're going to build it out. I have an idea of what we want to do. I have not tried it yet. I can 90% guarantee we're going to run into a problem. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Nice. Well, do you want to go ahead and start your screen share, or do we have anything else we want to talk about before we move to the screen share?
Let's go ahead and start our screen share.
Awesome.
So I will do that by clicking share screen. And that should be the right monitor. So we're going to start in App Engine Studio, which is how we created this app. So let's take a look at our Hackathon app in App Engine Studio. We have a few different things going on here in App Engine Studio. I've got 12 tables that we've created so far, where we have our event table, which is the main one we're going to be working with. And then we have all sorts of app teams, people, instance operations, all sorts of things that relate to that table. So we've got that. We've got, let's get back to what else do we have? So we have some catalog items that I've created. So submitting an app, reporting an issue. We're going to surface these in UI Builder. We've got the dev instances and instance operation forms, and then our Hackathon portal, which is where we're going to be today. So I can click on edit there and get into UI Builder. Since I'm way zoomed in, this screen real estate is something that I'm going to need. So I'm going to open UI Builder a different way and we'll get more real estate there. So let's open up the portal.
So UI Builder is greatly enhanced in the Quebec version of ServiceNow. Right, Brad?
Yeah, we have a lot going on in the Quebec version. So it originally came out in Orlando, and it was primarily used for customizing and adding things to workspace landing pages, which was really nice for workspaces. But in Quebec, it's basically an entirely new product in Quebec, and it allows you to both work with the CSM configurable workspace and then create and modify your own workspaces and portals that you create through App Engine Studio.
Awesome.
So
thanks for that extra detail.
Yeah, so I'm going to open up this event page that we have started, and let's get rid of this here. So let's go ahead and open up this event page. And we'll see what it looks like. So I've got this event page. It has some info about the hackathon, and then it's got some knowledge on the left, and then it's got a spot on the right to put things. I will show you guys, I mocked up this really impressive mock-up using my tablet and pencil. So this is what we're going for by the end of today's episode. I know everyone's really impressed with how good this is, but we're going to kind of go with some links on the left with some KB, then info about the hackathon that we're running against in the middle, and then some links on the right. So that's where we're going.
I want my design to look exactly like that when you're done.
All right. All right. So
that's magical.
We've started with, I have these 3 different areas on the screen. So we're getting there.
We're most of the way there. You just need some squibbles on that right-hand side and you're done.
So let's look at what we have so far. So I do have some things that are dynamic on the screen right now. So we've got this, we've got a few data resources going on, where we are looking up the participant record for the person that's logged in. So my event record is kind of the main record that we're going to be looking at, and I'll show what that record looks like in a minute on the back end. But we are looking up this event participant record, which is where like my person record relates to the event record, because we're trying to find the active event. And then we've got the event record itself, where we're grabbing some info about the event record and exposing it. So this is where we're pulling like this title and then the start time and end time. And you'll notice this is the information from the CreatorCon Hackathon that we ran recently. And you can, if you're watching this through the Knowledge site, you can take a look at the Hackathon finale, where we showed all sorts of things that went on at the Hackathon. It was a fun 24 hours and a tiring 24 hours for some people.
It was a fun 24 hours, and the apps that were created were really, really quite good. And I believe we've got a short code, but I'll definitely make sure the link is in the YouTube. But I believe it's SN. What's it's devlink.sn.
There you go.
Devlink.sn/K21 hackwin.
Well done. Well done. There's no way I would have remembered
a thing,
that.
Brad. I remembered a thing.
All right. So let's take a look at our events table here. We have one event. It is the CreatorCon Hackathon. It's got some metadata. It has this description that we're going to want to show on the page. And then it's got some related teams and people. And so we're going to show a lot of this info, but we're going to start with grabbing this description and showing it in the middle pane. If you remember from my incredible mock-up, we had this details word that represents everything that I want to put here. So on my left here, we've got this container. I don't think I wanted this to be nested like this. I think that's going to be all right. All right, so we have this container that's got my 4 components in it, where we've got some static words, and then we have some dynamic values. If I were to click on this and show, we're referencing that data resource. So what I want to do is I want to add another thing, and I'm going to add it here. Sidebar is this one. Okay, we'll add it here. So I'm going to add a component after. There's a couple of ways to add components. You can do it from the content tree on the left here, or you can come in and click on the little plus signs. I pretty much always use the content tree because I can, I know exactly where I'm adding something.
You know for sure which one, because the bottom of the one you're at right now versus the bottom of the container holding that one, the little plus signs are going to be in the same spot on the screen.
Yeah, and if you look at so this is 5 components, and one of them is this little tiny one. There's all these little plus signs. It's hard to use. So I pretty much always go on the left here, and so I can tell it exactly where I want it to be. So we're going to add a component after. I think I'm going to make it a container. And then in that container 8 is what just got created. I can rename these containers, which is probably a good practice, especially if you are, if this is going to be a big page that you're going to use a lot. I'm not going to do that now because if I do one, I'm going to want to do all of them, and it seems pretty tedious. But that's something that I probably should do.
It was my expectation that I could rename those, Brad, but I don't know that I knew for sure that I could rename those.
You can.
So thank you for that.
Most of the things you can rename, and it is generally a good idea, I think, to name something so that it makes sense to you. And if we look at these data resources, they all have these names by default, like lookup event record or lookup. Oh, no, I renamed these. Good for me. I think these were lookup records 1, lookup records 2, which once you get a lot of data resources, it's pretty difficult to know what you're referring to with those. So it's a good idea to rename them.
If you're watching on the Knowledge site, give the page a refresh because the chat wasn't working earlier. So if your chat's not working in the Knowledge site, give the page a refresh. The chat is working now, and we'd love to have you engage in the chat. Sorry about that, Brad.
Let's go. That. I was wondering why nobody was in the chat. There we go.
Let us get our new container rolling, or
let's
new component
do it.
rolling.
So I think what I want to do is I want to put a horizontal line here and separate it from the body. And I actually don't know what our options are there. Let's see if there is no, there's not a, so I think we'll probably add a component and then just put a border at the top. Seems like the most
That seems like
reasonable way to do
a
that.
reasonable way to draw a line.
Where's my HTML component?
That's how I draw lines in
Oh, it's
Excel.
called rich text is what I want. It has an HTML on it. You just can't search HTML. All right, so let's minimize this and then we'll come over here. And what I'm going to want to do is I have a bunch of HTML in this field. And so I want to take this data and I want to make it show up in this component. So I am going to start by taking a look at my data resource. So we're grabbing some event data and I am telling this data resource exactly what data I want to grab. And I am not grabbing that description field. So I think we want to add that. So I added that. And then my preview refreshed and you notice that this got a whole lot longer.
Oh, wow. That's quite a bit longer.
So this is all of the HTML. And I just really love working with the data resources and that I can really easily see what I am getting back here. So I know that I've got description and then value, and then that's going to be some HTML here. So let's go and we are going to bind that to this component. So I know I want data. I want lookup event record. And I think that was the result. It was, and then we want description. And then I want the value. Let's see what happens. Hey, that looks like HTML. All right, so we have this very long HTML going in there. So I'm gonna save. And let's test that. So let's hit open. All right, so I have my name, I've got the start time and end time, and I've got a bunch of HTML here.
Wow.
I don't know why that's all a link, but I
That's
copied
great, Brad.
this from a rendered site into that description.
That's
my
fault.
No, that's task number one. And then what we want to do is I want to give it a border as well. So let's see if I remember how to make borders happen.
Border top.
Border, I think we want, we do want border top. There's a way you can do it all in one. Let's say 1 pixel. I don't know. Does that do anything? Somebody give me the right, well, let's say border top. Here we go. Line width, line style, and color. 1 pixel solid. And then let's say black is 0, right? Yes. So the CSS styling here is pretty nice because it just helped me do that and gave me the syntax. And then it also will show you colors there too. So let's save and let's see if that even worked.
I like the color showing there. That was nice.
All right. Hey, it did work. This is
we have
pretty
a
much
line.
what I wanted here. I wanted a line.
That is exactly what you wanted.
All right.
Handy dandy.
We are really trucking along here. All right. So that was task number one. So I have more things that I want to do. One of the things that I want to do is so we have this button here where I can
if you keep doing it so well, Brad, they're not going to believe that you didn't practice this.
I really did not. I'm sure we will. We're going to get into something that's a little more complicated a little bit. So we've got this report issue where if I click on it, it's going to take me to a record producer. And this is nice, but I think I want a submit app button that I'm going to put. We'll probably put it like over here somewhere. And I think I want that to pop open a catalog item in a modal, which I just decided I want to do. So let's see if we can make that happen.
That's how I would do it. So I love it. Let's do that.
All right. So I think I may want to do something with this container, which is, nope. It's this one. And can I make that, can I break that into, oh, I can only do that. Let's do this then. So I'm going to make this be a row instead of a column, and that did not work.
Ooh.
Because let's change it back to a column. So what I actually want to do is I want another container here, and then I want to move that stylized text into the container. So let's add a container, and then I want to take this and I'm going to pull it into that container. There we go. And now
And this is so you can add the button to the right of it in a.
Yes.
All right.
So
That
now
makes
I
sense.
can change it to work like a row and not mess up everything else. So I can, I can do all sorts of things with this, the CSS styling, but I think this is how I'm going to want to do this. So let's add a component after, and I want to add a button. And then let's give us some room here. Oh, we got a little wonky there. And I want my button to say submit app. Let's give it, what's a good submit icon? Whoop, where'd you go? I don't know, no icon. Let's just leave the button. I am gonna make it a primary. What happens if we make it large? Whoa, let's do that for now. So I've got this giant submit app button, and we are going to want it to pop open a modal, but I have to create the modal first.
Okay.
So let's go back here, and I'm going to go add modal. And then I think what I want is a modal viewport. I have not ever created a modal viewport, so let's let's see if this is the right thing to do.
Strap in, here we go.
I think this is the one, viewport contents, route fields. Yes. So the route is going to be, here. So I'm going to want this button to work a lot like this report issue button, except open in a viewport. So I'm already passing a route and a field from this one. So let's go see where I am doing that, and maybe we can just copy something, because that's always a good thing to do.
I love looking at what a past me did, or even better developer did, and learning from that. And to that end, if you're trying to get going in UI Builder, and you've already done things like Brad and Lisa's 2 labs from Knowledge, the next tier step that you can do after that to get examples and look through things is fire up App Engine Studio if you're in Quebec and using UI Builder, and generate an app from one of the templates and take a look at how those were built and done and what they're doing. And you can get insights from working examples. I love a good working example.
Absolutely. So this Chrome menu actions is where I configured this report issue button. And we have that, it is on video during the hackathon. I think it took us about 20 minutes to figure out where to do this, to change the name and where that button goes. But we did figure it out, and I actually remembered some of it. So I'm just going to copy all of this so that we can use it again here in UI Builder. So These JSON fields like this, it looks like you can type in them, but if you mouse over, you get an edit button, and it actually gives you this this thing here. So let's copy that in, and the route is going to be catalog, and fields is this sysID. And then let's
Nice.
get rid of this. And then, ooh, can I do a kind of? Let's just leave it. It'll yell at me if it's invalid, and it did. Where are we? Well, let's just.
You need a second closing.
Yes. All right. Okay, so I think that worked. Let's save it. Use event binding to pass content in. Okay, so now we need to pop this modal open with that button.
Okay.
Which I can do by adding an event handler to the button clicked event. And I think I have a modal opened event, and then modal instance ID. What was I looking for here?
So that's modal opened. Don't you want to open a modal? Where's the
open or close modal dialog? That's what I want. There you go. Choose a modal dialog. Is this not what I want?
Click the toggle next to open modal dialog. What's that do? No, nothing.
Oh,
okay.
You're right. You know, if you toggle it the other way, it actually closes the modal dialog. Maybe I need to save and refresh. And
then Lisa I just said, did you say, but I think she said before it got to her in the video.
I think I had saved, but let's see. So we've got our event, open or close modal dialog, and it's still not there.
Okay. And what's the we've got some choices when you are mousing over that open modal dialog area toggle. There's the pickers for down one.
This one?
Yeah. What's the
so this
why do we get the
I could bind this true or false to something else on the page.
But that's not
like if
that's not what we're looking for. Okay, now I understand. Sorry.
Did we try turning it off and on again? We did not try that. Yeah, I don't know if I need to. I've done a modal before, and there's a YouTube video to prove it. Median, disable, dismiss.
Is there a name on this thing at all? Modal viewpoint one.
Yeah, it's got an ID.
And an ID.
I don't think so. Let's add another modal that is the simplest one we can, and see if we can launch this one.
That seems reasonable. This works. It's more like a question mark for me, but
no, we have to have confidence.
I like it.
All right, so I can launch that one.
Okay,
it
so
looks
something
like.
in that one is not.
Let's test it and make sure. So that launches.
This works. Okay. So let's take a look at those two modals in UI Builder and see what's different between them, and see how to make them happy.
They are different types of modals.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wonder if the
Viewport modals they can't be launched that way or something?
yeah, maybe viewport comments content. Let's see. Helpful. Where's the
What's the
documentation icon?
What's that visibility one do
This one
at the top
disabled.
near the edit button? What's the visibility?
Oh, I think I can make it
Okay, like
dynamic whether it shows or not.
hiding for some users
Yeah.
or not. Okay. Troublesome. We've got looks like Maria Gabriela is looking
Yeah.
because she had the same issues. So we'll give her a second to look at that. Is there something, hopefully she can actually help, and what else can we look at? Do we need something? So I know you just put in the catalog and fields part, and those were stubbed in already. Can we open a new modal viewport and just take a look at the empty one before we edit it and see if we potentially missed something?
Absolutely. I don't think we did.
That looks exactly like what we have. Okay. It was worth a shot, but it looks exactly like what we have.
So she said she had to name it before it showed up. I don't know. Let's try renaming it. So this is, well, this is just the label. Is it going to change the name? It's app submission.
Does our modal have anything inside of it by chance?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
You use event binding to pass the content in.
I wonder if I maybe the viewport. I don't know. Maybe I have to do something different to make that page work like a viewport. I am not sure.
Are there any other? Do we know of any that are shipped that work like that we could flip to?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Come on, chat.
I'm
Help
not
us out.
doing, we're just kind of hard coding this. I think ideally you'd probably want the sysID to be dynamic so that you can, use the same modal for any catalog item that you wanted to show. But we're not even trying to do that. So we can't see that one. Did it give us any sort of error? So let's look at one more thing and then we'll move on to something else.
Okay. I'll remind anyone watching, this is unscripted. Because this is how development works in the real world, and even experts at ServiceNow run into issues all day long, every day, because that's the life of a developer. It's either super easy or it's impossible. This is the life. Is until you know exactly what to do for a given thing, it's impossible, and then it's super easy.
Yeah, we had some people. So we actually did not rename that viewport or that modal. We just changed the label. The name is not editable once it gets initially created. It looks like. So yeah, I'm not sure what we would do.
Are there any other? Scroll down to the other handlers, or just type modal in the search and just see what's in there.
Yeah, it's just the
okay.
three.
It is just those three.
Yeah, so we could create a custom modal and just call the catalog component from inside of it.
Okay,
So
that's
that
a
is an
that's a thing.
option. Yeah, so just to rehash the name, the ID of it is not editable. We can only change the label. All right, the events on the modal is basically you can fire things once once the content is loaded.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, sure, let's well, that's not gonna do anything. All right, we're gonna come back to this. I will we'll post something on how to do it, or maybe we'll do a UI Builder Bytes video on it since it seems to be more complex than I thought it would be.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right, so there is failure number one. We'll take a
Woohoo!
drink.
Take a drink, Brad. I've partake more than you have. You've been carrying a lot of the talking.
So something else that I want to do is during the hackathon, it's nice to like remember what your instance and teammates and all that stuff is, or be able to log in and see that. So we want to show some info about our teams and instances in the sidebar at the top on the right here.
Sounds great.
So we have to first grab that data. So if we want to go look at the data model, for my event, I have a teams related list, and if we look at one of the team names, we've got some team members. And is there an instance field somewhere?
The
team should have an instance, right?
It should have an instance, but maybe we.
Did we decide to M2M it? That doesn't seem like that would make sense.
No, that's not. Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
I'm adding an instance field. Whoop, except we're not going to do it in all caps. Dev instances.
Yeah, it looks like we just haven't added that
right.
yet.
All right.
Chuck says he didn't add it yet.
Let's blame Chuck. He's not on.
He blamed himself. I love it. That's great.
I think I put this in the wrong spot, and we'll see. Oh, I don't love that, but that's where it is now. All right.
So in the hackathon, teams have an instance that we give them, and that's a thing that we want to see on this form, as well as who our team members are. Absolutely. I'd love to be able to see that all in one spot.
So I want to see my instance name and then my team members, or maybe my instance name and, well, we'll start with the instance name, which is just going to be, so I need data from this record, and then I need data from these records. This is going to be one of those things where we're going to make multiple data resource calls, where we could write our own like GraphQL data resource and get it all at once. And maybe we'll come back and do that afterwards. But right now, I have some info about my participant record. So the participant record is this guy. So this is me. So I know what this record is, and then I can use that to get this team record by looking at this related list, I guess, of this M2M event participant. Oh, do I already have team in there? Can we get team? Yes. All right. So I have the team.
All right.
So let's add another data resource that grabs team data because I can't get related data from here, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So I want new data resource. We're going to call it lookup record. We're going to scroll down and hit add. I'm going to rename this to lookup team. So this is going to be the team table. And then the record is going to be from the participant record, I think, dot
That sounds right.
0 dot team dot value. That looks right. So let's see if we get anything back. We definitely want instance. I think I want the name of my team.
Team name sounds reasonable.
So we're not getting anything in here. Do I need to, let's save.
That's one of the things we like about that area is it really shows
I
us when
know.
we're doing the right thing.
So how did we do the last one? So I looked up the participant record and then I looked up the event record based on, did we do that based on the participant record? State event ID. Yeah. Well, let's make sure, did we get a team name? Team. It does have a value here.
It does have a value and a team name even.
Do we think there's some like race conditions? No results found. What just happened? Yeah, that's the right
Team.
Whoa, no, there we go. All right, so let's save.
Huh.
So we're doing it all immediate. I'm not calling a data resource from another data resource, which is, I think, what I thought I was going to have to do when I first did this. When do we write the event ID to the? Do we have? All right, so one of the things we do is we take a value from one data resource and then we write it to a client state parameter and then use it in another data resource. So maybe we need to do that with this one. Maybe the data resources don't like
sharing.
Yeah.
Without you explicitly telling them to.
So let's try that here. Data, lookup participant, results one.
Getting stuff over the side.
Yeah.
I like getting stuff on the side.
All right, team ID has a value. So I think we may have solved this. So we actually want.
So now we want team ID.
And this is a state instead of a data, or is it?
This is a
because I'm in the wrong
state.
There we go. There we go. Oh, it's a context.state state. There we go.
State dot. Look at that.
ID. I think I had the pencil icon selected, so it wasn't letting me do it. And there we go. We have a team name. And we have an instance display name, which I think is good enough to put something there.
Okay.
So let's save. So we have about 10 minutes of development time left. So let's race against the clock here. So my sidebar, I'm going to add a container. And then in that container, let's add a stylized text component. We do make the world of work look better for people with modern digital workflows, but we're going to change what that says.
We do, but also goodbye text.
We're going to change that to
Team information or
team information. Yeah, because I think that fits. So I don't quite want it to be that big. Let's make it an H3. And then let's add another one underneath. And I don't know, for now, we'll just say, no, I'm going to want to put it in the container.
Everything goes in containers.
Everything goes in a container.
It's containers all the way down.
So there, we'll add the component. That was hard to click on at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, and again, Brad's got a slightly compressed screen going on because we want to make it look good for you viewing this. But when you're developing, obviously you won't be quite zoomed in the way we are in this setup.
And then we're going to make this be a row instead of a column. And then we're going to add one more component and we'll get the instance name in here.
Yes, Jace, I do work for the Container Store. I get a cut every time I say container. And when I say containers all the way down, I get 3x.
Team result dot instance. Oh, I have to hit enter and then hit dot display value. All right, we're working in Andrew's instance, it looks like, and let's see what we got there. Team information, we have an instance name. Ooh, actually, let's
come on, Brad. I need that to be a link. That needs to be a link.
Let's make that a link. I like it. Let's go here. So let's use a script instead. We're writing some code. All right. Instance name is.
We just got Phil right when we're starting to write some code, who's one of our hackathon finalists who solo did his hackathon and live streamed his whole building of his app. Two of our teams that won prizes live streamed all of their building. So 15 plus hours of streaming. It was really impressive.
All right, so data, lookup team. I think that's what we need. And then
Chuck says linking is out of scope. I'll have to wait till the next release. But I want my link now. Link it now.
So that's going to be style. We should make that a rich text and then, well, I guess for now we'll just write out the whole name and we'll go.
Yeah, I'm fine if it's the whole name without you gonna throw a HTTPS in there or no?
Well, it's not going to be linkable at this point.
Okay.
But we did get a whole, you know what? We have 5 minutes. Let's do this. So I want to make that a clickable link. So I think we can't do HTML in a stylized text. So we
Okay.
need a rich text.
Rich text.
So I'm going to add a
Let's make it rich.
text.
None of this poor text.
Nope. We want to go.
I've legit never made that joke in my life before. It's not a good one, but I've never made it before. Oh,
so let's go.
Brad breaking out the HTML. I like it.
And then I think this will work. Nope. If I was really feeling good, I would do this in ES6, but I can't quite remember the. All right. Does that look like it's going to work?
That actually does look like it'll work.
All right. So let's apply. It does look clickable. And I think we need to do one more thing to make it show up right.
Wiz Floyd also says, can't wait for ES6 and literals.
Oh, we didn't take that other one away, but if I click on this, do we get Andrew's employee instance? Oh, we do.
Looks like we do.
All right.
And kill that other component. We're
coming here.
It's shippable.
Say delete. And I want to do one more thing because it's going to bother me if I don't do it. And I'm going to add a little bit of spacing there. Chuck, I should have added a target blank. You are correct. Yep, Jace has the ES6. All right. So we'll get this modal figured out, and I'm pretty sure that'll be next week's UI Builder Bites. Will be me figuring out how that modal is supposed to work with the viewport. Yeah. Is there anything else we want to try to do in the next 2 minutes?
Can you get my team members in 3 minutes?
I don't think I can do that in 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Can you get the team name in 3 minutes?
Oh, yeah, we can do the team name. We already have that. That's a good one. All right, stylized text. I think we are going to have to do something similar because I wanted to say team such and such. So let's make this.
The chat's got faith in you, Brad.
Thanks, chat. Did I copy the whole thing? No. I think this is name. So we'll say bar. Apply. That worked.
Nice.
There we go.
Winning our team is the name of the team name. So,
well, Chuck had created a winning team, and so I felt like I needed to
winning your team.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that was a lot of fun, Brad. I think let's see, is there anything else that I want to look at before you close your screen share?
Before I close out.
Yeah. So UI Builder is so much fun. You've got to play with it more than I have over the past few months. I'm excited to dive in, and I know you have some really great content, and we'll talk about that when we start the screen share. But let's see, one other. Hmm. I've got a bone to pick with your primary button, submit app.
I
Why'd you
thought you
make
might, I thought you
Why'd
might
you
not
make
like
that a
it being
primary button?
because I want to call it out. I want it to be really important. But I honestly, I think when we actually roll this out, the submit app button is probably not going to be live until towards the end. We'll probably have a time where then it becomes live and you can submit your app, because it does create some confusion when people can actually submit an app 2 weeks before the hackathon starts.
So the thing I will suggest is folks go to developer.servicenow.com and take a look at the component playground area for especially components like the button, and take a look at when to use the components and how to use them. So I know we've got some details on using primary. Is that link right there going to take me right where I want to go?
Yeah, so if you click on the icon on any of these components, it'll pop open this thing, and then you hit learn more, and it will take you to that component's documentation on the developer portal. And it'll tell you things like I love this usage tab because it does tell you a lot about like, hey, this is how you should use this, and hey, you probably should not do such and such. Let's see if we have anything on the button. Yeah, so here's a don't. Avoid mixing button styles in the same group and use consistent button types. Same thing with don't use multiple primary buttons for repeated actions, which I think is where Andrew was going with that primary button.
Well, I just like I like to call it out that you should be intentional and you should look at this usage guidance. And if you need to deviate, do so knowingly and with good reason. And with that, Brad, I think we're good to stop the screen share.
All right. And I will say one more thing. When I created this button, it actually has a default of secondary, which should tell you something, that if you have to change a thing, there's a reason something is the default. Yeah. All right. Well, I will stop sharing here.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for that, Brad. That was a lot of fun. I learned a couple of things, and I continue to learn things from you, watching you build things in UI Builder. And but where can the people find more things about UI Builder? Not necessarily from Brad, but also stuff from Brad.
Good question. So there are a couple of UI Builder specific knowledge labs, which are CCL 1047, which is building a killer workspace with UI Builder. Lisa Holstein wrote that one. It's great. And then I wrote one called Building a Killer Portal Experience with UI Builder, which is CCL 1088. Those are good labs just to go through. And it gives you an instance if you haven't done any knowledge labs yet. So that is a great resource. We also have a series on the developer blog called UI Builder Bytes. And so if you go down to the categories section, but they're not tags, the tag section, you can find that one. And then there are some other good resources out in the community. People have been writing about UI Builder and Now Experience. And we have like a UI Builder resources blog post that links out to a whole lot of the community resources. So there is more and more available if you want to learn about UI Builder.
In our last few seconds, Brad, I want to thank everyone, but we have to rate our beers before the time ends, because we got to be on time today. How was your beverage today? Out of a rating of 5?
Dragon's Milk was 4.5.
Nice. And mine, my Puhala, was a 4.25. So it was fantastic to have everyone here today. Thank you for joining us. And with that, the knowledge stream is gone. So you YouTubers, get get to see a little bit more. Thank you for staying along with us. We really appreciate everyone who drops by the stream, especially those of you that participate in the chat. Thank you so much for that. It really does make these a lot more interactive and a lot more fun for us. And yes, we'd still do this if it was less fun for us, but we like it to be fun for us too. We like it to be fun for you. So please continue, hit that subscribe button. It really is actually useful for you, I think. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Brad, for this lovely session you did for knowledge. I really appreciate it. And with that, we'll say, have a great day, everyone.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.